Hi there, folks. My name's NovaWrap24, and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings-on from the week that was. So here we are on the Sunday, the 14th of October, 2018, for a issue as well. Okay, so apologies, folks. Last week, as I did say, I was in transit last week, and there was an episode that I had prep done, but there were some technical issues. Then YouTube had some trouble uploading it. Then it corrupted, so it didn't get released. So I'm actually going to break with tradition this week, and because I've already done all the research, I'm actually going to do a 2-for-1 deal. So you're actually going to get 2 episodes for the price of 1 this week. So we are going to be covering off the news, the product release news for the last 2 weeks. Now, of course, before that, I do want to give a shout out to the guys who did the flight simulation conference over in Cosford last weekend. So that was a great time was had by all, I know, and our good friends at Heli Simmer definitely had a lot of we're doing a lot of nagging and a lot of getting a lot of products looked at and speaking to a lot of developers and a lot of you guys as well who managed to get there. Did enjoy your time there speaking with all the developers. So shout out to everybody who attended. Hope it looks like you guys had a great time. Hopefully I will be able to get there at some point in the near future, or 1 year in the future, hopefully. But until then, I will continue giving us the news. So let's get started with the releases from the last 2 weeks. We're going to start in the world of X-Plane this week. We're going to start with the guys over at PropStrike Studios releasing their Quatam River for X-Plane 11. Now, this is their first piece of payware scenery that they've released. So they've done freeware previously, and this is their first payware release, and it's come out and it looks absolutely spectacular. That is for sure. And also, it's coming at a very reasonable price point. So coming in at just over $20 for this one, and you get quite a bang for your buck with this one. So this is picks up the area of the Quatam River and Quatam River Airport up in British Columbia, which is a very picturesque, beautiful part of the world. Now, this is a 35-year-old airport and featuring a 762-meter long dirt runway. Now, this not only do you get the main airfield, you get a subsidiary secondary airfield nearby as well. So you're getting 2 airfields. You're also getting over 10 helipads and 10 bush landing strips as well. So there's a lot of bang for your buck coming in with this one. Now, you've got, as well as that, you've got very highly detailed resolution ground textures with resolutions as good as 2 centimeters per pixel at the airports, as well as a fully dynamic runway obstruction plugin for Windows X-Plane users, plus 3D animated trees, 3D vegetation, and a full use of all the PBR materials effects as it comes with, and HDR night lighting as supplied by X-Plane 11. So there is a lot of stuff going on here. And again, I think these guys have borrowed a bit from Orbix's playbook by including custom animated machinery and ground traffic and livestock as well. So there's a lot going on here, particularly for helicopter and low and slow flyers. This is definitely going to be one that you should be at least looking at, if not picking up straight away. I do believe also that my good friend Belgiode will be, I believe he does have this, so I think you should be looking on his channel for a review of this coming in the near future as well. But if you do want to add this one to your X-Plane 11 collection, you can do this one, as I said, for just over $20. Pick this up direct from the PropStrike Studio web store, available now. In another scenery release for the X-Plane 11 World, so the guys over at Avio Tech Simulations have released their rendition of the Dubai International Airport. So interestingly enough, I didn't realize this, but there wasn't like a sort of very a highly accurate or very very detailed rendition of Dubai actually done for X-Plane 11 yet. I was sort of thinking that it is as being one of the major hubs for a lot of tubeliner flyers. I was kind of expecting that it would have been done already, but apparently not. So it is here now, and it's come to we're fully designed for X-Plane 11. And released by, as I said, designed and made by Aviotech Simulation Software and released by X Aviation. So this one gives you a highly detailed rendition of Dubai International Airport, including full customized and accurate and highly detailed 3D models of the airport buildings, as well as the surrounding iconic buildings and iconic landmarks of the surrounding city as well. You also get a set of photoreal sceneries included for the airport and surrounding area, detailed terminal buildings, as I said, and a lot of iconic buildings, including the sail-looking building that becomes very much synonymous with DCS DCS users of late. And the Palm Islands are there, as well as other details, including the port also included as well. Fully customized and fully compatible with X traffic as well, along with X-Plane 11, full PBR texturing, as well as HDR lighting systems have also been implemented as well, with custom airport vehicle movements included as well, with custom terrain mesh for the city and the airport are all included as well. So quite a bit of bang for your buck for this one, coming in at $25 or your original equivalent, available now from the X Aviation store. In a X-Plane 11 aircraft release this week, we saw the release of the Airbus A310 from the guys over at Cremona Software. So the A310 is sort of like, was the second of Airbus's very much paved the way for Airbus to become well, I'm not going to say dominant player, but definitely sort of leveled the playing field from what had been a fairly one-horse sort of show with Boeing for quite a number of years by that point. So with the release of the A310, it sort of started as the original A300, and the A310 was essentially a sort of slightly shrunk down version, but maintained the idea of a wide body aircraft that would operate on sort of medium haul routes. So it was very interesting. I had a lot of interesting development cycles as well, if you're interested in its history. And it actually uses, and again, introduced very early on, the Airbus design philosophy of keeping cockpits and very things as similar as possible, so that you could actually have a cross type rating, a dual type rating. If you were certified in A330, you could also be certified in A310 as well. So it's very interesting, the fact that you could do that one as well. But this model here of the A310 comes through with a accurate flight model of both an A310-304 and an A310-304 MRTT, or the multi-role tanker transport that was used by the Luftwaffe. So this 3D model, it gives you an accurate external 3D model, including fuselage wings, stabilizers, and all control surfaces, and as well as the accurately visually modeled, as well as their effect on the flight models modeled as well, including slats, flaps, aileron spoilers, rudders, elevators, and a THS system are all included. Engine reversers are included with their details. Landing gear with claw angle and full animation as it hits the ground as well is always pretty cool as well. The texturing that has been applied to this aircraft includes 4K textures across all of the texturing, both internal and externally, as well as full implementation of 3D lighting and 3D modeling of the gauges, and it's all being included as well. In terms of system modeling, it is actually sort of a bit of an early release, so the designer has noted that at the moment there are still some products that are not there, so some systems that are not modeled but are coming. But at the moment it does have a full dynamic custom APU setup, custom electrical system with simulation logic, full implementation of the Airbus flight phase logic implementations have been included as well. All engine hydraulic systems and pneumatic systems have all been included, as well as a brake acupress logic simulation as well. PFDs have been modeled at the moment, but not everything is there, but they are adding more as well. Autopilot modes, etc., 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 have all been included. There are also some ECAM warning displays with various warnings and things, failures that you might experience. There are some additional products that are coming along at the moment. The FMS is fairly basic, and the ECAM warnings while extensive, are not complete. There will be an update coming in the near future to owners of it who will be able to have a fully featured Honeywell FMS with autopilot integration, as well as an update of the ECAM warnings and failure systems. So again, a lot going on in what would be a very it's perhaps not iconic, because it was a fairly short production run, sort of only a few hundred aircraft, but definitely one of those aircraft that had a significant effect on the future of airliners as we know them in our global aviation state. So if you all want to pick this one up, this is normally a price of $60 over at the xplane.org store, currently on an introductory price of $50 available now. Moving out of the X-Plane world and moving into the ESP platforms, moving over starting with a prepared V4 exclusive release. So the guys over at JustSim have released their rendition of Brussels Airport. So the Brussels International Airport is sort of, funny enough, it serves as Brussels, the capital of Belgium. Funny that. This is a rendition of the airport as it appears at the end of 2017. So getting a bit old, but there you go. Does, however, have full integration with the FDX Global OpenLC Europe It does implement using custom SDK, prepared V4 technologies, including ground polygons, shading and occlusion, dynamic lighting, as well as various other custom prepared V4 effects. Does also include a full implementation of SODE content, including SODE animated jetways, windsocks, and the visual docking guidance system as well. The textures that are included are full 2 and 4K, a mixture of 2 and 4K textures, including high resolution ground textures, custom runway textures, and high resolution building textures. All of the major airport buildings have been modeled into their actual 3D, sort of very highly detailed 3D renditions of how they appear. Surrounding area has been given with custom autogen, but it doesn't appear to be any modeling of any sort of major landmarks outside of the airport other than that. Otherwise, it does include a full 3D lighting has been included as well, and optimized with automatic season change and variation of the photoreal backgrounds as well. So interesting, great to see Justin sort of implementing their SODE integrations straight away from launch. That was always great. So yeah, if you wanted to pick this one up for your prepared V4 experience, looking at about $30 for this one, available now at Sim Market. And another prepared V4 exclusive release. The guys over at Real World Scenery have made their first official release of products, so their full-size airport release, which is, in their words, the culmination of 4 years of work with the release of Dayton International Airport. So this one has been designed as it appears at the start of what it is. I don't want to know. It doesn't actually say when it's designed to appear at. I'm going to guess, based on the fact that this is 4 years of work, I'm going to say that it's probably going to be how it appears at the start of 2018, or the tail end of 2017. However, designed to exclusive for prepared V4 with fully compatible with FTX Global OpenLC North America, full implementation of dynamic lighting for the entire airport, exclusive to prepared V4, high resolution ground textures with custom runways, aprons, and taxiway textures are included as well. Fully compatible with all AI traffic programs with the accurate AFCAD file, including with airline specific gates as well. Surrounding area has custom placed autogen 3D lighting models for the taxiways and apron, with automatic season change for the background photoreal imagery as well. So a lot of stuff going on here as well. Fairly highly detailed airports, looking kind of cool. So if you are wanting to pick this one up and add this one to your collection for this, especially for a first release for these guys, you're looking at about $26 or your original equivalent, available now from Sim Market. And another ESP platform release, but this one, of course, compatible with all of the ESP platforms. The guys over at PRealSoft have continued with their HD Cities releases by releasing their version of, or their photoreal coverage of, Dublin. Now, this one has become available to all of the ESP range, including F16 Edition and all variants of Prepared. So this includes all of Dublin City in high definition of 0.2 to 25 centimeters per pixel. Custom autogen designed for the area and for the region, includes 3D customized buildings for the Samuel Beckett Bridge Convention Centre, Trinity College, forecourts, Aviva Stadium, and more, as well as a variety of custom static objects suited for the region, and a full implementation of 3D night lighting has been included as well. So pretty cool, pretty interesting. They've also optimized it to be fully compatible with all Irish custom airports, including those released by Orbix, Mega Airport Dublin, and various other Irish add-ons have included as well. So good to see the P-Real guys, P-Real Photosoft guys, continuing on with their releases of various cities around the world. I was actually surprised as well. It's actually not that big a download as well. So yeah. So if you are wanting to continue with your photoreal collection for various cities, you can pick this one up from Sim Market for around about $25 or your original equivalent, available now. And more ESP releases. The aptly named the Airport guys have released their rendition of AirportOVG, which is located in Jonesville, Virginia. And I'm going to make a comment about these guys at the end of this. So this rendition of this airport is part of their Blue Ridge series, which is a series of general aviation airports through southwestern Virginia. And it's sort of all basically sort of independent, and so just can be dropped into your sim platform, whatever you like. They've come through just wanting to optimize it and give you a series of nice GA airports come through with HD textures, 2048 textures throughout, custom 3D prepared native ground poly for prepared users, updated with all your nav data and instrument approaches for there, full implementation of custom terrain mesh, custom 3D buildings, custom static aircraft, and volumetric grass, all the usual stuff that we see, and looking at a fairly nice, neat package, including SOD animated windsocks and various other SOD animated content as well. The best thing about these guys that I really appreciate is that these guys appreciate the fact that we, as a flight sim community, have got extensive demands on our resources. So, once you've been doing flight sim for a while and you're starting to, generally the way to payware, the amount of money that you have to sink into our hobby, well, not that you have to sink into our hobby, but the amount of money that, if you start wanting to get more than a half dozen add-ons, you're just going to start sinking a lot of money into this. Now, what these guys have done, the airport guys have done, they've actually sort of gone, you know what, we're still going to give a really high quality product. And this, from the visuals I'm seeing, the product is an extremely high product here. But they're doing it for a very reasonable price. It's $5 for the airport. That's it. And the content that we're getting is what I see on Sim Market and on other stores for 20, 30, 40 US dollars, and these guys are selling it for 5. So I'm just going to make a point here and say to the other developers, I appreciate, and again, and I've said this before in other forums, on the Three Grumpy Simmons and other places as well, that, I do not condone piracy in any way, shape, or form. But when people start asking, 80, 90, $100 for an add-on, it gets tough for your market to do it. And the problem is that we as a community run the risk of actually pricing ourselves out of the market and actually end up dying because we price ourselves out of existence. Developers like the airport guys take a more long-term sort of view and actually going, you know what, we can deliver a product here that is the standard and equivalent of everything else that's out there, but do it for a price that's affordable and accessible to a lot more people. And I think that for the companies out there that suffer a lot of piracy, and yes, Randazio, I am looking at you and your product, perhaps knocking a little bit off your price point might mean that you won't be as much of a danger of that. Just throwing it out there. So yes, there you go, guys. If you do want to pick it up, as I said, the airport may not be you, but for GA flyers, have a look at this airport. So this one is Jonesville. Lee County Airport. This one, Lee County Airport, located in Jonesville, Virginia. This is part of a series of 9 GA airports through Southwestern Virginia. To pick up the whole up, as I said, $5 for each airport, or funnily enough, 9 times 5, $45 for the whole lot. So there you go, guys. Have it to the airport, guys. If you want to pick this one up, available now. And another ESP platform release, the guys over at Tropical Sim have rebooted their rendition of Kansas City International to bring it up in line with how it appears in 2018. So this brings it up to date with updates of all the parkings and the closure of Terminal A, and the movement of airlines to being spread out between Terminals B and C, as well as some ground marking changes to the various parts of the airport as well. Includes full night illumination, full auto gen for the surrounding area to customize for the region. Includes the option of using SOD animated jetways over default jetways. Optional 3D lighting, 3D grassing has been included as well. Various different options for native materials depending on whether you install the F6 version or prepared versions, as well as fully compatible with AI traffic and a full update of all of the 3D models included with it. So looking pretty awesome, this kit. As I said, like Tropical Sim, they do pretty good work. They really do. And coming in it's pretty standard price for these, coming in for less than 25 US dollars for this one. If you are an existing user, you are looking about probably about $10 to be able to upgrade this from your existing purchase from your previous version of Kansas City, to be able to upgrade this one and bring it into line with the 2018 edition. And as I said, fully compatible with all of the ESP platforms, including F16 Edition and Prepared 1 through 4, available now from Sim Market. And in another ESP release, well, it's kind of a split release, this one. So this is from MK Studios. This is their rendition of Lanzarote Airport, sort of in the Canary Islands. Now, MK Studios had previously released Lanzarote a few months ago for Prepared V4, but they've now brought it out for Prepared the V3 and FSX now. So they've brought it out in line with that, which is nice. And great to see that they're still supporting the 32-bit platforms. Um, what they've done though is that they've kept most of it on the line, so it's updated how it appears in 2018. Great chance for a destination airport for anybody who's sort of wants to fly into the Canary Islands. Interesting enough, there is also an Ironman there, which is said to be one of the toughest and hardest Ironmans to actually complete, which is interesting there. But yes, if you want to do it, if you want to your sim, it said you could previously it's already been available for V4, now available for V3 and FSX. Now they do note though a couple of objects as well. There's a couple of user bewares though they did notice because it was designed from the outset for originally V4 and then they've rolled it back to V3 and FSX. They said there are some things that are missing and don't work so well. You potentially may have issues with the night lighting. You will see because and also they've advised that the way the shadowing is done that you must turn crash detection off, which is interesting. Not quite sure how that works with the modeling, but I'd be very curious to know if one of the developers can chime in on the comments down below. I'd love to hear why. But otherwise, it includes a mixture of photoreal terrain as well as custom terrain scenery. Custom high resolution 5-meter mesh of the entire island, full implementation of SODE jetways and a visual docking guidance system as well as a simple one for non-GSX users as well as GSX compatible ones as well. So a lot of details in here. As I said, if you wanted to pick something up for your 32-bit SIN, available now for $18 US or your original equivalent, available now on Sim Markets. And another couple of ESP Platforms releases, the guys over at FSFX Packages, or as they've rebranded themselves at the Flight Sim Expo in Cosford as Old Prop Simulations. Well, funnily enough, they've actually always been Old Prop Simulations. They just use FSFX as a sort of a top level name, but it looks like they've dropped that name now and just sticking with the Old Prop name. Now, in their first two products that they've released as their rebranded themselves, they have released their 747 immersion package to work with the PMDG 747 Queen of the Skies 2 and the 747-8 as well. Now, what's great is that the one purchase will work with both of those PMDG products. It is not, you don't have to rebuy again if you have the other one, which saves you a little bit of money, which is nice. Gives you a whole slew of effects to this one, which are fully dynamic on the aircraft and the aircraft in sim flight conditions, weather conditions, and aircraft performance as well. Everything from water droplets, icing, dust coming up off the wheels, and spray and landing effects are included as well as of course the inevitable beautiful contrail effects, smoke effects, and various engine effects, and as well as lighting reflecting off clouds as well. So it looks absolutely outstanding, as with the excellent quality we've come to expect from the guys over at Old Prop Sims. In their other release this week as well, they released their 717 immersion package, again with similar things with various atmospheric effects and conditions being able to replicate it, including of course the way the lights refract out of clouds when being used on the landing lights, as well as various engine effects and water droplets coming off the wings, tail, and fuselage as well. So you can pick up both of these packs, can be picked up for $30 US each, available now from the Old Prop website. And a F16 Edition exclusive release. Well, another one of those F16 Edition re-releases, as they were. So of course, the Carinado Grand Cessna 208B Grand Caravan X, of course, has been out from Carinado for quite a number of years now, and has of course been available for all of the ESP platforms, and recently re-released over onto the X-Plane 11 platform as well. For those who exclusively use F16 Edition, you can now choose to pick this one up directly through Steam if you so desire as well. No differences between the nominal one that you get from any of your other online retailers or from Carinado directly. So still is a highly detailed rendition of the aircraft, including beautiful, accurate 3D model internally and externally, fully operational Carinado G1000. tours, TCAS, visual alerts all included as well. Not going to go through the list of it because, as I said, this content has actually been out for a few years. It just happens to be new to Steam Edition. As always, though, I do always say buyer beware for this one is that if you are a F16 Edition user, you can pick this one up from Steam. However, if you are ever thinking that you may want to make the jump over to another platform, such as Prepared, in the future, then you may want to seriously consider buying this one direct from Carinator or from another flight sim retailer as opposed to buying it on Steam. It is, however, about $10 cheaper to buy it on Steam than it is to buy it direct through Carinator. So I'll buy just a couple of notes for buyer beware. But if you do want to pick it up for your Steam Edition, pick it up now, available now on Steam. All right, moving out of the ESP platform world, we're sticking with flight simulation and moving into the world of DCS now with two releases. Well, actually, no, one release and one pre-purchase. Now, I normally have a rule against discussing pre-purchases. I normally do. However, this is one that I have been waiting for an insanely long amount of time here. So I really, really wanted to do this. So yes, the F14 Tomcat by Heat Blur Simulations is now available for pre-purchase. Now it is not out yet. It is not really going to be released. It will be released at some point during the the Northern Hemisphere winter. We are not expecting it until at least December. However, if you do want to pre-purchase, you can, and you will complete with a $10 discount if you do want to pick it up now. So this will be a rendition of the F14A and B variants. The first one that we will get as users, by the way, will be a Bravo, not the Alpha. So you will not quite be able to recreate Top Gun at first release. You will have to wait a bit longer for that one. But there's a whole slew of features coming through that one. I'm not going to go into detail here because it is not actually out yet. I just want to make this very clear. It is not out. It is just simply available for pre-purchase. So if you want to part with your hard-earned cash early, you can go do so now over the DCS website. For the DCS web store, not available now. The actual release for the DCS World that did come out this week was again kind of a reboot from them. So they released the standalone MiG-29 Fulcrum module. However, it's a reboot of the Flaming Cliffs 3 variant. But this time they've actually come through with a fully updated flight dynamics for the aircraft, so with what they call the new professional flight model. They've updated a lot of the avionics and the way a lot of the actual systems work as well. Included some of the updated a lot of the missions campaigns as well have all been done as well. There's a whole heap of slew of sort of updates that have come through here, and as I said, they've now made it available as a individual model if you just want that. So a couple of things to note: if you are an existing owner of the Flaming Cliffs 3 module, which includes a variety of aircraft, including the MiG-29, the flight model and all these other updates are free, and you will just simply log into your DCS World account, and the updates will automatically be downloaded for you. If, however, you only want to get the MiG-29 and you don't want to get the other aircraft that come included as part of the Flaming Cliffs 3 bundle, then you can pick this one up separately now for $15 or your original equivalent. But just honestly, if it was up to me, and this is what I did, is that I purchased the Flaming Cliffs 3 module bundle simply because that if you buy the modules separately, it's $15 a pop, whereas buying the Flaming Cliffs 3 module, you get 8 different aircraft for $50. So you make quite the saving if you do pick it up at FC3. And as I said, if you buy FC3 now, you still get advantage of all of the updates and all the PFM updates that the DCS Eagle Dynamics team have actually done to all of these aircraft individually. So just up to you. As I said, I think it's worth just grabbing that one. Just FYI. Anyway, I'll leave it up to you guys. If you do want to pick it up, you can pick it up separately if you like, or pick it up the bundle available now from DCS World's website. Moving out of the flight simulation world, moving into the world of the ground transportation, with the guys over at American Truck Simulator and SCS Software have released their latest region of the great American state of Oregon. So this add-on goes through, so you can actually go through and experience the wild beauty of the Beaver State. I'll let you all make your own puns for that one. It features over 5,000 miles of new in-game roads, 14 major cities, 13 large custom and truck stops, a variety of smaller additional stops and rest areas and motels around the roads, over 700 completely new 3D assets, and 25 unique and complex and really custom-built junctions and interstate interchanges. And having recently driven through some of those interstate interchanges, oh dear God, they can be frustrating and terrifying. Also includes 17 new local company docks and industries, as well as a variety of well-known landmarks, natural and man-made landmarks have all been included as well. So usual, really high-quality kit that's come out with this one. It's available now for a really reasonable price as well, continuing with the content you get, coming in at $12 available now on Steam. And the other release that came out with this one, where they came out alongside this one from American Truck Simulator, was their Classic Stripes Paint Jobs pack. So this will give you a set of 8 different classic American truck paint, like stripy paint job liveries for various trucks and rolling stock. Which looks pretty cool, kind of interesting. Some of them are a bit, so some of them really remind me, when they say classic, like I remember seeing stuff like this out of the 80s. Like I genuinely do remember this stuff, and some of it looks like this really bad advertising out of the 70s and the 80s. It really does, and the color schemes just make me look. Particularly one, there's the one that's just this cream, brown, and orange sort of thing, and it's just like, oh dear God, I just cringing looking at it. But it looks cool at the same time anyway. So yes, this is a classic paint jobs pack. So coming in, usual paint jobs pack come from the Truck Simulator World. So $2 for this one. Coming at what's that? A few cents per livery. Funnily enough, if you do want to get, they've actually done an unusual thing where they've actually done a Oregon launch bundle where they're actually offering you to actually bundle together both the pack and the bundle and the livery bundle and get 10% off the 2 items together. So you pay it's just $12.50 for the 2 items together. So kind of cool, kind of interesting if you do want to sort of pick up some extra stuff that could be interesting as well. So otherwise, if you want to pick up your classic stripes paint jobs for your American Truck Simulator experience, coming in $2, available now on Steam. Sticking with ground transportation, but moving into the permanent way, the guys over at Train Simulator have released a couple of releases this week. Their first one being their release of the CPR 460 Buffalo steam locomotive. So this is part of their Pro Train Driver range, and actually brings to a full simulation rendition of the Central Pacific's 1860s era 460 Buffalo train. So this is a wood-fired, so rather than a coal-fired locomotive, with balloon smokestacks and large spark arresters to sort of stop things blowing, setting things on fire as it goes along. Also, as 10 wheelers, and it goes through a whole slew of interesting, sort of very detailed scenarios, including the way the boiler steam pressure works, as well as throttle lag and dealing with a wheel slip that comes through from a wood burning fire. So there's a lot of interesting stuff through here. I don't pretend to understand what half of this stuff means when it comes to trains, by the way. I just don't. It comes through with 2 different types of period rolling stock as well. And what's interesting is that you actually kind of get 2 for 1 with this one. You get the main rendition is the Central Pacific Railroad 460 number 82, the Buffalo, but you also get her sister train at the number 86, the Gorilla, with a couple of slight differences with that as well. So it's nice to actually see that they've actually you're getting a lot of bang for this one. As I said before, it has highly realistic controls and operating characteristics, including handbrakes on rolling stock. AI locomotives will blow their whistles appropriately when starting, stopping, and backing up. Braking with the aid of air and wheel braking. You've got simulation of throttle, reverser, valve gear, firebox, boiler, and steam chest, as well as realistic simulation of errors such as hydraulic lock of the throttle, condensation buildup in the cylinders, reverser slam when releasing the reverser's latch with too much pressure, and a whole heap of other different things in here as well. Like there's just really, when I look at this, there's a lot goes into these things. It really does. You also get included. You also get a variety of difficulty settings as well, if you do want to make it a little bit easier for yourself, if you do want to help out, or you can make things a lot harder for yourself. Also includes the wooden boxcar and a caboose coach rolling stock, and also 3 career scenarios are included as well. Now, interesting side fact to note of this one, to be able to utilize all 3 of the, or any of the 3 career scenarios that are included with this one, you need an additional piece of DLC, which is by itself not uncommon for Train Simulator. Normally it's a route add-on that you've got to have on with this one. However, this one requires you to have the Union Pacific number 119 steam locomotive add-on, which actually includes a mini sort of scenario and track lines with it as well. So just as I said, if you otherwise, it is still fully compatible with quick drive scenarios and Steam Workshop scenarios. Otherwise, this is available now on Steam for a grand total of $20 or your original equivalent, available now. And the other releases for the marketplace from the Transom World this week, we saw two releases of two GP40-2 scenario packs this week. So mini scenario pack 1 and 2 are available. So available for $5 each, or buy them together for $8.50. These packs go through various different actual railroad operations. So the pack 1 gives you 5 career scenarios. For how it appears doing various different haulage routes through the American West, including ones that will see you going across Feather River Canyon route, Sherman Hill route, and Soldier Summit and Salt Lake City route. Extensions will be included for those ones. And whereas GPAC 2 is more sort of orientated around the passenger routes with some cargo as well. And for that one, you will need the New York, New Haven route, New Jersey Coast, and Morristown line routes will be included for that one. So if you're wanting to really expand your GP40 scenarios, give yourself a bit more challenge, you can pick those ones up, available now on Steam. As I said, $5 each for a twin pack for $8.50, available now on Steam. And rounding out the simulation release news for this week, the guys over at Car Mechanics Simulator 2018 have released their latest piece of licensed DLC with a release of their Porsche DLC. Now, this one introduces 4 new licensed Porsche cars, the 93 Porsche 911 Turbo S and 911 RS America. Also includes the 2016 Porsche 911 Carrera S and the 2003 Porsche Carrera GT. Also introduces 4 different engine types, including the Boxer, 3 of the Boxer engines and 1 of the V10 5.7 DOHCs are included as well. Now, as usual, the Car Simulator 2018 has done it in some fairly interesting styles. A lot of custom stuff that you can do there. You can change the paint, change the tuning, change all the parts out, all that kind of fun stuff. It is fully compatible with the earlier tuning DLC as well, for using it now to tune the engine parts as well if you wanted to do that. You can have this one. Normal price for this one is $6, currently on a launch special until the 16th of October for 15% off, so coming in at $5, available now. And with that, that does now round out the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for joining me. I do want to say that there are some significant things that have happened in my sort of surrounding my personal life and some developments, especially related to some of my extracurricular activities and a incident where I was, the incident earlier the year where I was hit when I was out on a practice ride earlier the year. Which has put me in a bit of an awkward spot. So if you want to find out more about that, don't forget to head over to my personal vlog channel, the Tristan Files. I'll put a link in the description down below. So have a look through the final episode and have a listen to it, have a look at it, and see if it's something that you feel you can help to. Otherwise, folks, don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.